Welcome to episode 2 of Tackle Primetime, powered by NCSA. This episode, we continue to run through talented prospects and then discuss how college coaches find and evaluate talent. With that, here are Coach Taylor and Coach Chmiel.
Welcome back to our little show we like to call Tackle Primetime. This episode, we finish up discussing the offensive line. We've already highlighted the tackles in this 2010 class. Tonight, we turn our focus to the men in the middle, the guards and centers. Other than maybe the backside tackle, predominantly the left tackle offensive linemen are interchangeable, don't you think, Coach? Foot quickness, athleticism, height, and power often dictate a lineman's position.
I don't think there's any question. And I've said this before. I would rather play with a freshman quarterback than a freshman left tackle. Randy, finding athletic offensive linemen is critical to any college recruiting class. Every good coach knows that if you bring in a guy who can't move his feet or bend his knees, there's no place to play him. Big guys that can move their feet, are flexible, athletic, play with leverage, are smart and tough, can play this game for a long, long time.
Coach A.J. Can is one of those kind of guys. He's from Bamberg Earhart High School in Bamberg, South Carolina. 6'3", 260 pounds, can play center, guard, or even defensive tackle. You know how we love that. Maybe the best two-way lineman in the class. He can redirect, he uses his hands, he's athletic. He's a guy who could play on Sundays, really, once he develops and keeps working hard. He needs to add bulk and strength, though.
Hey, Randy, how about Jake Matthews? Another center guard combination. 6'4½", 270 pounds, Lawrence Elkin High School, Missouri, Texas, a versatile offensive lineman. He can play any position along the offensive line. He has good feet, great athleticism, and you know what? When he plays, it looks like that mirror dodge drill that all the great offensive line coaches use. And if a guy can do that, he's got a chance to play at the Division I level and be very successful. Mirror dodge drill, best drill for an offensive lineman. Welcome back to Tackle Primetime. We want to show off the skills of some of the other top offensive linemen who play inside. Number 1, Trey Hopkins, 6'4", 260 pounds, North Shore High School, Houston, Texas. A raw, sudden athlete. By sudden, Randy, I mean that snap off the football. He's got long arms, he's got great feet, moves his feet very well, comes off the ball with good pad level and a strong punch. From time to time, he loses his base, but he can work on that. That's very correctable.
No question. Coach Cam Felt is another lineman that we really like. At 6'5", 290 pounds, Pilot Point High School, Pilot Point, Texas. A lot of Texas kids in this group. A big body brawler, will be a terrific guard. He can trap and pull. He has good feet, rolls his hips, and stuns the defender like you were talking about before. Very sound and a top run blocker. Looks like an all-star at the next level.
God, I love running the football, Randy, you know that. Colton Houston, 6'5", 265 pounds from Buford High School in Buford, Georgia. A flat back, good pad level, good punch off the ball, can trap, can pull. He's a solid interior pass protector as well, and he can play defensive tackle also. And you know what I always like, Randy? Those guys you can't keep off the field.
Finally, Sage Chmiel. We wrap up tonight's primetime with some recruiting advice for all the student athletes and families watching. Last week, we discussed reality and finding the best fit with the help of a third party.
This week, we want to explain where college coaches identify and evaluate student athletes. Most student athletes assume that college coaches discover them at camps, combines, showcases, and things like that during their senior year. In reality, college coaches depend upon verified information. Again, reliable sources. Reliable sources like NCSA Recruit Match, the great database that is NCSA Recruit Match.
Coach, finding your way onto a trusted third party's list is critical because coaches just don't have the time to search every corner of the United States. They're restricted by NCAA rules, and in this economy, they have their budgets cut quite a bit.
People ask me, what are the 2 biggest changes in recruiting from when I started? And I'll tell you the biggest change, the advent of the VCR, and then the next generation, the DVD. But now in this current age of recruiting, technology plays a much, much bigger role than it did in those days. May and April were actually times for evaluation to leave campus. Those days are over, Randy, as you well know.
That's right, Coach. The internet has effectively shrunk the country. Coaches now do most of their initial evaluation online. They then follow up by requesting full game tape to continue their evaluation. But remember, coaches, for the most part, still need to find out about a prospect through a trusted third-party evaluator before they will invest too much of their time and resources to pursue a prospect.
All right. You know, Mr. Offensive Line, University of Illinois, MVP, a coach's worst enemy is unsolicited mail. When I was at Notre Dame, we'd have piles of video all over the office. But the only ones we were seriously considered were the videos that we received from reliable and trusted sources. You can't look at them all, Randy.
That bookends this episode. Make sure to upload your video to your Tackle Recruit Me sheet and get it into the NCSA Recruit Match database.